So Jules, how did you get involved with Jack's project? Did you see a leaflet through his post, or did you see something on Facebook?
No, actually, it was through a recommendation through a friend of a friend.
Oh, brilliant.
And they said that they were doing this project and I was really interested in it. And so I got in touch and Jack said, yeah, come along. And he got a few other people involved. I mean, I was doing makeup specifically. And so I've met two other makeup artists who become quite good friends.
It's brilliant, there's a good network, yeah.
Which I'm not very good at as it goes.
So it's been fun as well, that's what I like to hear. So have you done anything like this before?
Not as creative as this.
Yes. Lots
of, I mean, I come from a sort of blood and guts background. I'm special effects makeup. So this is completely new for me. I'd like to do more of this, really.
So talk me through this. How did it start? Did you do some painting?
Yeah, well, this lady here has great big thick dreadlocks, and Jack wanted them under a bald cap, and it was an utter nightmare. Put the bald cap on, or attempted to, and it split, so he had to tie a knot in it.
Yeah.
Then I was trying to cut it around the ears, because this one was a pre-made one, and that split again. So it was held together with gaffer tape, masking tape, toupee tape, and then putting all these little sticky squares on to hide all the problems. And she was topless to the waist, painted white, and then different silver grey and black squares stuck all over her, and it took 3 hours.
I heard there was a little bit of a disaster, a little bit of a problem. What happened?
Put the final sticky square on, and the fire alarms went off. We had to go outside.
So she was topless and I imagine quite cold. So did you just get her up?
Yeah. Well, we did wrap her up warm when she was outside, but a lot of the squares fell off when she was outside. No, it was all in a day's work, really. It's really fun.
So it's very
yeah, it's fantastic. They're all lovely. They're all really good photos, really original, because I didn't know what to expect. You know, was it going to be sort of medieval, sort of set up photographs, but I really like that 21st century look and take.
What year was this? I want to be going in. What have you heard about the project? Do you know what the pictures were really like? Do you have any idea? How did you know what's happening?
I've seen the postcards. Like kind of.
We put up some postcards. Oh yeah, you've been handing out leaflets.
I knew it was on through word of mouth, and I knew it was a frantic rush to get many images done.
Oh, really? So organised up to the last minute?
Well, it was very organised, because I thought it was only going to be about 6 pictures, and I thought, oh, it's those 2 6, but no.
It's an impressive amount.
So it was very organised.
What do we think about them? Do we have any idea what's going on? Or
symbols are fantastical. Enjoying all the repetitive symbols. It's like a story, because you keep seeing the same characters, like the same little symbols everywhere. It's just kind of making you understand more as you go around.
what drew you to the project? What did you see that you felt that you had got opportunity to do?
I think because it's like obviously an art project, and then you see a lot of like fashion and beauty work, and so I just wanted to really get involved with big friends and do things that are really visual, not like so typical.
So talk about this piece. How did you get involved here?
Jack probably set up that I was making all these cubes, and then I put them to the model to the tape, and it was like, it took quite a while, almost worn off, but I liked it a lot. So Jack, how did you get started on the project?
I really like photography that has like a narrative base. I like to take images and then like build upon a story, so the images have a visual narrative that you can look through themselves. I've always liked tarot cards, and I like the idea behind them. They each have their already set titles. So what I wanted to do was like build upon that as a photographic series, but I thought to myself, no, I don't have enough money to do that. So it wasn't until I got the funding that I was able to build upon that. But yeah, it was back in November when I started looking at the images, and you know, many people have made their own tarot card decks. So what I did was, instead of reconstructing someone else's deck, I looked at where they'd all got their starting points from and what the meanings were behind the images, so that I could build on the actual meanings rather than the images and come up with my own series.
And how did you go about getting funding for the project?
Last year in the summer, I went to a lunch that the City Council was holding in town, and we went and we discussed like where the funding should be going in the city, like all the areas that it should be used for. And then they sent me an email to say that the funding had been released and you could apply for it. But to apply for the funding, you've got to be part of a business, and you've got to be like a registered charity as well. But I knew that my student union was a registered charity, the Students' Union. So I got them to apply on my behalf. So after a while we managed to get it, and then I used it for this project. But because you get funding from the council, it has to be like a community-based project. You have to like involve people, and it has
so there are certain constraints.
It has to have a reportable outcome as well. So it was all things to take into account, which helped develop the project into this exhibition.
Brilliant. So could you explain some of the themes of the project to me?
I had a set theme running throughout the project based around like geometric shapes, like they act as signifiers in the images. The main ones are triangles, circles and squares, like the cubes and spheres that you see repeating in several images. Triangles represent like transition periods, and the globes represent like people's worlds, like mankind and Christianity, and cubes represent like the material world. Like for instance, in The Hanged Man, that was about a change in perception, which is why all the cubes are falling down around the two guys, because it's about, you know, changing the material world kind of thing. Another example is in the lover's image with the guy. He's got a globe in his hand and he's recoiling away from what's above him. The two triangles represent the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. This is a take on the story of Adam and Eve and the fall of mankind. So he's taken knowledge already and he's recoiling from the results of what will happen from God's wrath kind of thing. The 6 is representing how he's become mortal, and this number 6 represents the number of man, which is why it's bleeding, to show that now he can receive pain. You know, he's sat on a block, which tells you now he's in the material world. That's what he's sat on, what his base is. And I put all those together to create like a visual story within the images. I wanted people to be able to come up with their own thoughts about the images, but for it also to have an underlying tone to work out if they wanted to.
It looks like there was quite a large team involved in creating the images. How did you go about finding those people?
It was quite difficult actually, but with the money from the funding, I was able to use advertising like flyers and things. So I gave out flyers in town and in shops and things, like I put them in pubs and things. People found them that way. I used to use the modelling websites. Called One of Mayhem, which I was able to communicate with people who were already in the business. Like that was able to, I was able to find people like makeup artists and models through that. But a lot of people found me through recommendation, and Facebook was really good, so I managed to set up a group, and then like loads of people came into the group. But yeah, it spread around with word of mouth as well, so that was how I got everyone together. It was a strong team, especially with the makeup artists who were become friends and things as well, so that was good.
That's right.